Deba and his deputy Michael Teichwart. And here we have the launcher with the beautiful ESA logo. Here we have the LBC. This is where the technical teams are located right now. It's an ESA and Astrium team, mainly an Astrium team, of course. And they are looking at the telemetry that is coming from ATV via equipment in the launch table. And this allows us to keep an eye on what's happening inside the ATV. They are monitoring things like pressure, temperature, water control system, the pressure inside the cargo part, etc.
And we're coming up to, here we are, 1:35 now to launch. A quick word about the launch sequence. On Ariane 5, we have a 7-second delay between ignition and liftoff. That's because we start the Vulcan engine first and wait for 7 seconds to check it's working before we ignite the boosters. We're now waiting for the range operations manager to announce the 1 minute to launch moment.
À tous de DDO, attention pour moins 1 minute.
We are 1 minute to launch. Switching to onboard.
À 0 moins 1 minute.
Switching to onboard power. We are live at the Guyana Space Center for the launch of ATV-5 Georges Lemaitre for the European Space Agency, built by Airbus Defence and Space. Our very best wishes to our customers and to everybody who has worked so hard to bring us to today's launch.
À tous de DDO, attention pour le décompte final. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, top. Allumage Vulcain, allumage des 2 EAP et décollage. Tous les paramètres à bord sont normaux. Tous les paramètres à bord sont normaux, la propulsion est nominale.
And we're off. Ariane 5. Powering out into the night sky here at the Guyana Space Center. That streak of gold coming from those 2 powerful boosters. Just catching the sound of that now here, 15 kilometers from the pad as she flies over. And ATV Georges Lemaitre is on its way. Destination, our human outpost in space, the International Space Station. People in the viewing stations will have felt the ground shake. I've sent Charlotte out to go and watch the launch in real life rather than on the screens here, so we'll wait to hear how she experienced it. Right now, the boosters are doing all the work. They're literally pushing us away from the Earth's gravity. That's what keeps us stuck to our planet. Makes it very difficult to leave as well. And we may get lucky and see those boosters falling away there with the naked eye. Each one is burning 2 tons of propellant. That's an awful lot of propellant per second. 2 tons per second. Just to give you an idea, if you filled your car once a week, that's just about the amount that you would be using in a year.
Séparation des étages d'accélération à poudre.
And we did see them separating their superb sight, the boosters falling away. And this, There we go. The two dots on either side and the white dot in the middle is the Vulcan engine that you can see, and those boosters falling back down. We're shedding weight. We don't need them anymore. We're losing each stage of the vehicle once it's burnt up its fuel, because of course the lighter we are, the faster we go. Right now we've lost about 3/4 of our weight in just over 2 minutes. So right now the main stage is doing all the work, and you can see its Vulcan engine there. That's the white dot in the middle, and still a dot of booster falling away to the left of the screen. Everything's going according to plan, he says. If you look at the bottom left, you can see our altitude is 106 kilometers above the Earth. We are at a distance of 232 kilometers if you were to draw a straight line, and our speed is 2.5 kilometers per second. We're now losing the fairing, and Charlotte has just come back into the commentary box, having seen her baby take off into space. How did you feel?
That was quite something. It's better if I turn the microphone on. That was quite something. It was absolutely spectacular, and I still got I got the blazing lights of the boosters in my eyes. It was fabulous.
You've got the retinal imprint.
Yes.
And what about the sound? And what about the...
Impressive. Absolutely impressive. No chance anybody in this area could miss that.
People quite frequently go to the beach to watch it. Charlotte, let's just tell everybody about the curve on the top right-hand side of the screen. What are we looking at here?
Yes. The green curve is the calculated curve, so this is the expected trajectory, and the yellow overlay is the actual trajectory as calculated from what we're getting from Ariane.
And if you look on the picture on the, he's saying everything's going well and according to plan. And on the right hand side of the screen there in the middle you can see the image. We can actually see ATV for the first time now. And these are computer generated images that we're looking at, Charlotte.
Yes, we know what's happening. Or we know it should be happening every minute and every second of the flight, but of course we have no cameras to show it to us. So we have this excellent animated view of what's going on up in space right now. And in parallel, the Ariane launcher is transmitting telemetry down to the telemetry stations here in French Guiana, and this includes the various mission events which are being reported by the DDO.
And here at the Guyana Space Centre, it's been a very busy time. We've already had 6 launches this year. Today's our 7th, and we're preparing more.
And welcome back for a quick update from Mission Control Houston, as we've been watching and following along the flight so far of ATV-5 and the Arianespace rocket, launching it into orbit, going by the book. So far, the solid rocket boosters have done their job for the initial liftoff to escape the Earth's gravity well, as you were hearing the commentator explaining. They've since broken away, doing their job successfully. The fairing peeling back from the vehicle, revealing ATV-5 to the environment of launch. Just about 2 minutes or so away from that main engine cutoff. Shortly following that after will be the ignition of the upper stage. It'll first ignite for a burn of about 8 minutes and 9 seconds to send ATV into its initial elliptical orbit. Following that, it'll shut down and coast for a while, doing a ballistic coasting path until reigniting to continue to raise the orbit. But again, everything going as planned so far. A successful launch from the Guyana spaceport, sending ATV-5 on its way towards the International Space Station. And now we'll go back to the live coverage down in Kourou.
Launcher using ground stations as she flies over. It's called telemetry, and we're going to be picking up the signal shortly at SNA, which is a boat in the Atlantic. Tell us a bit more about telemetry, Charlotte.
Well, the launcher has computer systems on board that are collecting all the essential parameters. And a subset of this is being analyzed in real time as it comes down via the telemetry ground stations. And this is the data that is used to immediately assess the performance of the launcher. And this includes also the reporting of the events I mentioned earlier.